What's up? My name is Eric Butler. This channel is called Report and Opine. I am back, and from Fox 10 Phoenix, Arizona governor signs executive order banning hair discrimination. So this is obviously pure political theater from Cartel Katie Hobbs, who won this questionable election, right? And for the record, I thought we got rid of discrimination many years ago. And do we think for one split second that somebody doing some hiring these days is really sitting there in his chair saying, you know what, I really liked her. I really liked that guy. They were both really good, but, I just don't like their hair. So they're not going to get the job here. None of this makes any sense. All right. But this is what it's come down to. Signing an executive order, I guess, as a little bit of red meat to your base. But Katie Hobbs has no base. And I don't want to pretend, I don't want to put too much weight on social media. But when that whole thing was happening, Katie Hobbs had like 4,000 followers on Instagram, whereas Carrie Lake had hundreds of thousands. We're not talking about a few thousand difference. We're talking about 500,000 followers, Twitter followers, YouTube followers, all the social media. Katie Hobbs had a small fraction of that. And we should have known something was up, obviously, when she said, I'm not going to debate. I'm not going to platform an election denier. She knew right then and there that the machine was going to do her bidding and she didn't have to make any points. So she covered it. She sugarcoated it saying, well, she's an election denier. But what she was really saying is that I don't have to explain anything to you because I know the machine is going to work for me and we're going to take what we want. So you can quit crying about it. We're the establishment party. So we don't care what you think. And now she comes out and does this hair discrimination executive order. And that's another thing too. It's like these executive orders, because none of their stuff is actually real. So it will never pass muster. It will never get past, whatever Senate committee, floor hearing committee. So they just, with a stroke of a pen, everything changes because I'm pretending that I'm going to save you. I'm going to get you a new job because that mean white guy didn't like the haircut you had. It makes no sense, but it also comes right on the heels of Miss Michelle Obama, who's harping on hair stuff. It's like, lady, you are married to one of the most powerful men in the world, and you still have a victim card because you're pretending that somebody didn't like the haircut you wore. None of this makes any sense, bro. Absolutely none of it. But let's see what Fox 10 Phoenix has to say about how Katie Hobbs is going to save you from the big, mean hair discrimination.
Hobbs signing an executive order this afternoon banning discrimination on the basis of natural hairstyles or texture.
No, this reeks of the soft bigotry of low expectations. We're going to save you. They were being so mean to you because of your hair, and we're going to fix it. It's not real. It's just her creating a boogeyman and then pretending she's going to save you from it. And these, mainstream media hacks, looks like they're about to go with it, but it's all absolute nonsense.
This would apply only to state workers and contractors, but the governor says she wants to send a message. Fox 10's Irene Snyder spoke with some stylists about what this means. Irene.
Well, good evening, John and Christina. Governor Katie Hobbs signing that executive order today. Tempe and Tucson already passed similar bans. And while, as you mentioned, this is not going to be a statewide protection, the governor saying she hopes it will inspire future legislation.
It's also a little bit strange that we are told over and over and over and over ad nauseum that white people are your problem. Oh, those big, mean white people. But sure enough, Bo Jiden, Katie Hobbs, how come you guys didn't give those jobs to a person of color, right? Because you're the ones telling us that white people are bad, and then you take the job and then claim that you're going to save the poor, downtrodden colored people, and it's just laughable, right? This is how stupid they think we are, right?
This is our hair. To have a freedom of doing whatever to our hair is very powerful.
Hairstyling.
You already had that. You had that. And it's for government jobs. So, it's not like these people, we're also told that, the cops are awful. So, what you want to go work at the post office? Like, you want to work at City Hall? Like, none of this is real.
Kiara Jones says she knows what it's like to be discriminated based on her chosen hairstyles. She's seen it with clients at her Gilbert salon, too.
The times my clients will sit in my chair and they'll be like, okay, so I'm very limited of styles because I'm going to this job and, I'm the only one that looks like me.
I doubt it. She's lying. I just don't buy that. She has multiple clients. Oh, I'm look, you got to look good for the job interview. You could just claim anything as discrimination. You can just claim anything as racism. You can just claim anything as homophobia, right? And that's what they do with the language. It's just manipulate it until none of it means anything. So as soon as somebody is more qualified for the job, you can just claim certain things, and it's unprovable. And then they're just going to say, well, you're not black, so you don't know. And it's a catch-22. You're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. All they want is the control. Every single thing is a different way to gain the same control. So now she's got all of her, all her little helpers clapping like seals because she's going to, sign a bill that's going to allow you to wear a hairstyle that you already could have done. We saw the same thing way back when Jussie and Kamala were doing their thing and Cory Booker were claiming, well, we're going to sign this anti-lynching bill because black people in 2020, 2021 were so afraid of being lynched. Give me a break. Guys, everybody just needs to grow up and look at this with a realistic lens. This is all created. They create these problems and then sell you the solution, right? And I've said this 100 times before, but there's no better analogy than the establishment political party than somebody who steals from your house and then helps you look for what they stole, right? Or even better, they will bash your knees with a bat and then give you a wheelchair, send you a bill, and expect a thank you. It's all an absolute scam. And Cartel Katie here she's just about as evil as they come. Little Hillary, what a disgusting, floozy wench.
Governor Katie Hobbs signing an executive order today banning discrimination.
Look, I don't want to get kicked off YouTube, but there were a lot of issues. Arizona was obviously a flashpoint in the presidential election. And when you look at all the stats, and again, I don't want to put too much weight on social media, but you could drive around Arizona. You could even go to Tucson, and you're not going to see cars with, Katie for governor, Katie for Arizona. You can go to almost any city in Arizona, and you're going to see, in a short drive, you're going to see Kari Lake stickers. You're going to see FJB. You're going to see Let's Go Brandon. And Kari Lake is going to have exponentially more following, more supporters on her social media. But somehow, some way, none of that translates, and Katie Hobbs just won after not debating and literally saying that when this is over, people aren't going to say that Katie Hobbs didn't debate because she knew early on how the game was going to be played. Just like Bernie Sanders knew. I don't know if anybody remembers that old video where Bernie Sanders let the cat out of the bag. Pre-2020, it was like, you're going to think that Donald Trump has won, but then 2 weeks later, you're going to realize that all of the mail ballots were for Joe Biden, and everybody loves Joe Biden, right? And are we supposed to believe for one split second that the people who were destroying the country, rioting all over the place after they had been told not to stay home, diligently dropped a ballot in the mail for Joe Biden? Absolutely not. And the same thing happened with Katie Hobbs, right? And then as soon as the videos come out of the election machines not working, you're a conspiracy theorist. Pattern recognition for these people is conspiracy theory. If you can recognize a pattern, if you can remember what happened 48 hours ago, then they will call you a conspiracy theorist, right? If you can remember the lies that we told you last year and how they're in exact opposition to the lies we're telling you today, you're a conspiracy theorist. And here she is, telling you that she is going to do something for the poor black people of Arizona by letting them wear the hair that they want, which they could already do, and she's playing this white savior card. It's absolutely despicable. I can't stand this woman. I can't stand any of these people.
Against state employees and contractors because of natural and protective hairstyles.
I'm hopeful that this inspires legislation to end this kind of inequity across the board.
It's often referred to as the Crown Act, which stands for Creating a Respectful and Open Workplace for Natural Hair. This includes styles often associated with race, like braids, twists, and locks.
The styles that we're doing on his hair are two-strand twists. Styles is kind of like endless. You can do braids. You can be very creative with braids.
Shantae Fox owns a salon in Tempe.
This is how stupid they think you are, bro. This is insulting. Like, Katie Hobbs has passed an executive order so that you can wear braids to work. Give me a break.
Specializing in curly textured styles. She says many of her clients in the past have damaged their hair, trying to conform to straight hairstyles using heat and hair relaxers.
It can be damaging to the hair follicle, which means, can lead to hair loss. Being able to go to work.
It's also funny while we're talking about hair that as soon as a white woman like Gwen Stefani, for instance, wears braids or dreads, or Kylie Jenner, and they wear these braids, and it's immediately cultural appropriation. But when Beyonce's prancing around there in a blonde wig or a blonde weave, nobody cares. I mean, this doesn't get any more completely transparent. I'm not certain how people don't see through this.
Work and express themselves freely and naturally is an awesome thing.
Because the main thing is that each person can feel confident and beautiful, no matter how they decide to wear their hair.
They're talking to you like a child. Like, you can express yourself with your hair. Like, bro, these are adults going for adult jobs, and you're pretending that they're teenagers who are uncertain of, give me a break. This is absolutely despicable. It's all a show, and like I said, it reeks of the soft bigotry of low expectations. Like, looky here, Blackie. I made it so that you can wear your dreadlocks or your braids or whatever, lady. Yeah, you better thank me. This is pathetic.
There's nothing wrong straightening your hair. There's nothing wrong even relaxing your hair. There's nothing wrong of just wearing your hair natural, having locks, having braids. So allowing everybody to be themselves feels great.
And 20 states have already passed laws granting protection against race-based hair discrimination in schools and in the workplaces. Congress tried to pass a similar law last year, but it failed in the U.S. Senate. Reporting live at the state.
Yeah, they made this up so they can pitch you a story about how they're saving you. And it does remind me, same but different, when Bo Jiden said, oh, I'm going to let all the weed convictions out. Anybody who's in jail just for weed is going to be let out. And it was nobody. 0 people were let out because anybody who was in jail nobody, I should say, was in jail for having a little weed in their pocket while they were walking down the street. They all had something else on top of it, but they're pretending like, and people bought it. Oh, Joe Biden's gonna free the weed smokers. It just wasn't the case, right? Joe Biden's gonna, get you off the hook for your college tuition, which of course he cannot do. Right? Why not let everybody off the hook for a home mortgage? Why not let everybody off the hook for a car loan? Why not just a personal loan? You might have taken a loan out where does it end? It doesn't end. It comes here where they're cosplaying as white saviors that are going to save you from the mean hair discrimination monster. And this is where it goes. And then it just goes off the cliff to the point where they will literally create another boogeyman to save you from. But thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, share, and of course, subscribe.